welcome to the Weekly Chatter Live. I'm Joshua.
I'm Jason. How you doing?
Welcome. Hey, if this is your first time at the Weekly Chatter Live, of course, a big warm welcome, right?
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, you have no idea what you're in for. Yeah.
But do we?
Maybe.
Little hint.
Little hit. And those of you who are returning, thank you so much. And joining us live. It's always good when people join us live.
That is much more fun when we can do this live and engage. We love hearing your stuff in the chat, so make sure you're active in the chat window there, and that gives us. It just makes it more fun, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you kind of prod us a little bit, we'll perform better for you. So yes, joining us live, and if you are chatting. If you're in the members only Facebook group, that's where we are chatting, reading your comments. But after the show, we always look at the comments elsewhere because we are broadcasting all around the world, everywhere, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. So this is not a private party, but where the party's really at is the members only Facebook group.
Yeah, and I hear more and more of our members when I talk to them. So many people are listening to this on the podcast.
Yes,
which is cool because if you go for a walk, you can listen to us on the podcast. And I know my wife does that. She has like a podcast every day of the week. She has a different podcast that she does. So those of you listening on the podcast, that's awesome.
Yeah, and if you're walking your dog right now, make sure you have poop bags with you.
Of course.
Yeah. I just feel like maybe we should give people who are listening.
Is that a little PSA?
A little reminder. Anyway, welcome. We like to be silly. We like to have a good time, but because this is the way we kind of wrap up our week. I mean, once the show's over, I'm done. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not done. Anyway, we have got a fun show for you. This is obviously the last show of the year.
It's the last one. Mark it off the list.
Yeah. So 2 years we've been doing this.
Two full years?
2 full years. I made up an anniversary date about a month ago. So.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you saying that, but...
Or no, actually a couple of weeks ago, I guess I did.
But I can't believe it's been that long. And I know we have some cool things planned for the Weekly Chatter next year, but I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, don't give anything away. They already know that I'm really bad at keeping secrets.
I know.
Yeah. It's anyway. So we have a lot to do today. We've got we're gonna get to have a member conversation. You recorded a member conversation.
Yeah.
With Kara Brown, one of our members, and that's gonna be fun. And if you guys tuned in last week, you saw that Kara sweeped prizes up. She did.
That is one advantage of attending live and in the Facebook channel, because you never know when there might be a prize opportunity. So Kara was there to strike while the iron's hot.
Yes, she did. So we're going to we're going to hear from Kara, and then we're also going to hear from Velma, who's got our revenue numbers, our top places for this last week, and then we're going to do some headlines, right?
Yep, I got some interesting things going on to talk about, so we'll cap it off with that.
There we go. All right, so we're going to pop over to the comments and see what you guys have to say. Hey, keep us busy in the chat, please, please, please. And you know what? I'm just still getting used to being in the studio with Jason, so when you see me kind of looking off to the side, it's me trying to figure things out. And... as always, if you like what you see, give us some emojis. It definitely kind of prods us on, right?
Can you believe we're at the end of 2022?
I can't.
This year has gone by, at times slowly, but in retrospect, so quickly. And I don't know if it felt the same for you and for the rest of you out there, but 2022 has gone by so incredibly fast. And at the same time, look, we got so much done. And as a network, our members accomplished so much.
It was a banner year.
It was a heck of a year, and so many people, Josh, were saying, "I'm having my best year ever." And isn't that fun to hear when you hear that? Because I mean, the last normal year was 2019,
Mhm.
and that was a banner year.
Right.
And then, of course, we all know we had a couple of years that were not so hot.
Yeah.
But what resiliency to kind of go through that time and to see so many people saying, my best year ever.
Yeah.
I think that to me is just, it's very rewarding to see and hear. And I'm so happy for all those people that was their year this year. It was their best year ever.
Right. And it's in doing the weekly chatter each week, hearing people say, this was my best week. This was my best week.
Yeah.
And they just kept on. It was some of the same people were
Yeah.
saying, this was my best week ever. I've done more this year than I've ever done. And it just kept on growing. And so many people moved into full-time.
Yeah.
It was a good year.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about it's my best year. I'm now full-time agency owner, and those are fantastic. But it's even the micro goals that are terrific. It may be I sold my first trip. I worked with my first real client. I did all of those kinds of smaller but every bit as important wins.
Right.
Are so cool. And let's get to the chat because that's where we get to hear about some of that stuff. So let's hear what's happening.
But kind of on that note, what are your New Year's business resolutions? And maybe sometimes people feel kind of funny about New Year's resolutions, but I mean it's a time to take stock.
It is.
And what might you do differently? What are you is there anything that is going to be kind of right in front of your face the entire year? What are you going to focus on? All right, so we're going to go over to the comments. All right, let's see here. Cynthia from Birmingham is saying hello from Nashville. So just not in Birmingham anymore. Happy New Year, Cynthia said. And Kara is in the chat. She said, hi. I'm making chicken pot pie in the kitchen for our belated family Christmas gathering tonight. Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And Stephanie with an F said, hello, Friday, and almost goodbye to 2022. What a year.
What a year. That's right.
And Debbie, who also was a winner last week, hello, happy Friday, and happy New Year from Sequim, Washington. I hope I got that
From where?
Right. Sequim. Yes.
Wow.
It is.
Congratulations, you've officially tongue-tied him.
No. This has happened. This has been going on now for 2 years. Like I feel I don't know why it scares me every time I see it. I think the first time I said it was sequin. Anyway, all right, moving on. Debbie, I hope you were laughing. Cynthia said, win this week, another booking request, and all my year-end accounting is done.
Woo!
That's a big accomplishment. A lot of people, the year-end accounting is still going on in March, so good job there. Let's see, Alan, happy Friday and happy New Year. Alan said, win 5 trips booked last night and quoted 6 others.
That's a busy night. Nice job, Alan.
Yeah.
Way to go. And Happy New Year.
Yeah, and Happy New Year. And Shannon said, on my way home from Jamaica. Nice. Sorry, I will miss the last one of 2022. Happy New Year, everyone. But I love when people are at the airport and they chime in just to say, hey, I'm not going to be able to stay for the show.
And I don't know, it's nice to hear from them, but it's also just little rub it in. I'm going someplace awesome.
Yeah,
and you're not.
Yeah, and Shannon does that. Shannon goes on a lot of trips.
So, that's what we do, right?
Yeah, I love it. Let's see. So Kara's jumping on Cynthia with the accounting. She said, ugh, I still need to finish the last 2 months of the year accounting. Kara, I will say that you are definitely not alone. Don't stress about that.
Too bad.
Nate said, happy Friday from a very snowy Colorado. I'm glad it's not snowing here in Atlanta. I can't handle that. Teresa said, hello and happy Friday. Kara said, yay, football parade commentator set up again. Yeah. Well, just wait until you see what's in store for 2023. I'm just saying. It's not necessarily going to be football commentator, but I think it's going to be fun. I think you're going to like it. Kim, hello all. Happy New Year's.
Do I get like a Madden Telestrator where I can draw on the screen and like circle things?
I feel like
That
you're
would be
talking
cool.
about something that somebody who watches sports would understand. I
When
kind
they
of
draw on the screen, like
you're like an
so,
X and an
yeah, I
O,
could like
like
draw a little
tic-tac-toe.
mustache on you, or
Yeah,
but
Or
or like
you
just
can say
illustrate things.
you can say this is how you win.
Yeah.
I
What do they call that? A telestrator, I think. I think that's what that's called.
Yeah.
Somebody check me if that. I think that's what it's called, but I think we need to get that.
Or we can just plug in your iPad and with an Apple Pencil and make it work.
Yeah, sure.
We can do it.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna make that happen in
You've inspired
2023.
us.
Yes. Let's see. Teresa said, "Hello from Fort Myers, ready to bid 2022 a fond farewell." You know what? I feel like saying goodbye to 2022 is a good time to bring out you got hats last
Yes,
time.
I did.
And so I got hats for the New Year's show.
Now let's see if this thing fits.
There was no sizing.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad. All right, there we go. So this is how we're gonna
I
say.
feel like I need music with this thing.
All right. Well, I don't have that queued up, so
Okay.
don't push me on that one. So let's say goodbye to 2022. I'm gonna leave the hat on. Did you notice I'm doing like full Starsky and Hutch?
I
Starsky and Hutch.
have the '70s Kojak vibe going.
Yeah. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Whew. All right. It's so I'm looking down at what's being broadcast on Facebook, and it doesn't look as cute as it felt doing it with the hat. So anyway, Tanya said hello from Apple Valley, Minnesota.
Yes.
Lisa said hello and happy New Year's Eve. Beautiful sunny degrees and a sunny day in Florida.
Nice.
That
That sounds very nice right now, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
You're making us all very jealous.
Yes. Lots of Happy New Year's, Tanya, Emily. Happy Friday, y'all. Our Deborah, she said, "Happy Friday, Tropic West Network, fam bam, and Happy New Year." I love that Deborah does a little fam bam action. I like that. Brian, Happy Friday, Happy New Year. Okay, are people just like really trying to rub this in? Kathy said, "Happy Friday from this beautiful 70-degree afternoon in New Hampshire." Although in New Hampshire this time of year, I think 70 degrees would be
It's 70 degrees in New Hampshire right
Yeah.
now?
happy.
Wow.
They're gonna have a very happy New Year.
You sure it didn't say 7?
No, it's 70. Yeah.
That's incredible. I had no idea it was that warm up there today. Well, that's beautiful.
Rebecca said, "Happy Aloha Friday," and can you do Hawaiian? Aloha makahaki. All right, Rebecca, that's not fair. It's just not fair to.
I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. All right. Well, I tried, and
You
that's
gave
fine.
it a good effort.
All right. So Constance said, "My New Year's business resolution is just more self-marketing and putting myself out there." I think that's a very good resolution. And
It is.
I like that she put self, like put
Yes.
myself out there,
Yes.
because that's really where you can get some equity.
I think so. And it's, I don't know if you feel this way, but a lot of advisor marketing, agency marketing, sometimes we try to overcomplicate things, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of successful advisor and agency marketing comes down to consistency and just doing small things consistently.
Mhm.
And so by just saying, I'm going to work on putting myself out there more regularly, I think just that simple kind of a recognition of that you're going to make an effort to do that. And it's not, oh, I'm going to look for some fancy strategy or new tool.
Yeah.
I think that is really terrific. And I think it will produce great results for you.
Right.
You know, do you
And
agree with that?
and it's a mindset. It's a mindset
Right.
too. So if you're in that mindset where you're saying, I'm going to promote myself, from there you can support a business. If
Right.
you start to if it's like, I'm going to do more Facebook advertising, or I'm going to do this, and those are great tactics.
Mhm.
But the mindset, if you put it square right there on you, that's where you're going to win.
Yep.
So
I think it's great.
love it, love it, love it. Teresa said, I just had my first agent profiler client.
Oh, cool.
Yes, good job there. Are we doing hats off? We can.
Well,
we can do
I
hats
started
back
to.
on.
Yeah, we can maybe pull them back. You know, you can wear it.
No, it's
But
okay.
I just kind of felt silly for a second there.
Yeah, I know, especially when you're like saying something,
Like something
really
serious,
meaningful,
right?
like Constance,
I
you're
look at
really
the-
onto something.
And I look at
here.
the monitor and I have this goofy sequence hat on.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Who's going to take me seriously wearing that?
Yes. Well, Constance will, because
Well, maybe.
she's used to. She's okay with that.
Okay.
She accepts you. Cynthia said hers is to work smarter, not harder. Get on camera because I don't know. Start my YouTube channel and book $100,000 in sales.
Cool.
Let's see. Get on camera because I don't know. Start my. There might be some typos in there, but basically, she's going to get on camera. She's going to put herself out there, YouTube it, and she's setting a goal for 100K in sales.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is really awesome. All right, we're going to come back to the comments. We got a little distracted because we want to make sure that we have time for everything.
Okay.
So we're going to come back to them. So keep on putting in your New Year's business resolutions because we'd love to talk about them. But we want to break now to the interview, the member conversation, not just an interview, with Kara that you filmed earlier. So
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to that if I can make sure that I don't mess it up. Here we go.
Hey, welcome to another weekly Chatter conversation. This week's guest is someone who's been around Travel Quest Network for a little while, and those of you who've been around with us for a little while, I'm sure know her. I'm very excited to bring on Kara Brown from Experience Culture Travel. Let's see if we can get her in here. Kara, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Welcome to the weekly Chatter. It's awesome to have you here.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
So tell everybody a little bit about your agency.
So, like you said, I own Experience Culture Travel. I've been the owner of that, and the one that came up with it, I guess, for about 6 years now. And it's more of a extension of me, I guess, than some people's businesses, because it's really just everything I like about travel, and that's all I choose to do. If I like it, then I will plan it for you. But otherwise, like cruises, not always a big fan of that, so I send all my referrals to other people. But Experience Culture Travel is all about getting past the consumerism of travel and into like experiencing what it actually is like in the destination, to see the day-to-day, to go past the normal tourist traps and see the backstage things and off the beaten track. So that's what I try to every trip. Even if they also want to see mainly the main things, I'll still get them a couple things in their itinerary that are unusual.
I love that, Kara, because that's probably my favorite thing about traveling is literally I try to, especially when it's my wife and I, maybe not so much when I'm with my kids, but if it's just my wife and I love to find a way that we can get lost and try to find our way back. Because almost every time when we do that that's when we discover something we never would have expected, and it's just the most fun. So as you're working with your clients, how do you go about actually getting them into that real experience of what it's like to be in those destinations? Because I agree that is the coolest thing about travel, in my opinion. How do you do that?
So it's all about having the suppliers that can do that for you. And what I've been doing in the last 2 years, basically since COVID, is really cultivating my relationship with more small suppliers, or like ones that are DMCs that are just in one country or just in a region, because they typically have those really like granular relationships with a person that would love to have people into their home and cook dinner for them, or things like that. A larger supplier like Delta Vacations, they just don't have the capacity to that granular levels.
Right.
Most of their
Right.
activities and things are more of the hey, you're getting off of a cruise ship, or you're getting out of this and you're just going to do something with loads of other people, and nothing against that. That's what people want often, but really, to get to the level that of off the beaten track that I like to provide for my clients, it's going to those local DMCs that are, we only service Colombia, or we only service, Belize, or whatever it is. And asking them, okay, my client really would love it if they could interact with somebody, like just somebody that lives there, and maybe that means learning how they cook a meal. Maybe that means having them go with them and talk more about how they see something in the city versus just like a tour guide talking about it. But having those relationships and knowing which suppliers kind of are more in the niche, because some of them too, like the DMCs, some of them prefer to do some of those bigger tours anyway. And so
Right.
they might be just to Colombia or whatever. I'm just saying that because that's one of my favorite ones. But they might just be a Colombia DMC, but they're still doing those big tours, and the ones that I could get through Delta Vacations, or I could get through American Airlines Vacations, or whatever.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
really
This is so interesting to me. I have so many questions for you on this. So when you get a new client, do you find most of your new clients are seeking out these kinds of experiences? I mean, are they drawn to you for this, or are you recommending these kinds of experiences to them and maybe they weren't expecting it coming in?
I would say probably 60 to 70% of my clients come to me because they read my bios and they read like my agent profiler where it says that's what I want to do and that's what I'll do.
Right.
Or they are seeking out locations and destinations that the average travel agent maybe like get a lot of requests for. So they're not specialists, right. Not been there themselves. So Colombia is one. A lot of people think of like Narcos, and Colombia is like, oh, it's safe. I've been there. It's pretty dang safe, and like don't go in the deep jungles, and then you pretty fine, or like I just went to Cuba, and so I've just gotten a slew of people that now see on my agent profiler or on my website or on Facebook that I've been to Cuba, that it's possible, and that it was really an experience, not just like, oh yeah, I checked the box, I have a picture in front of the classic car. So 60 or 70% are finding me that way, and then the other 30 or 40%, whatever it is, I try to smatter it in. I don't force it. I mean, if somebody comes to me and they sincerely just want to sit on the beach in Mexico at all inclusive, great. I can help with that. I've done that. It's fine. That's the type of vacation that is necessary too for people. That's relaxing. Sure. But I at least give them a few options for tours. Like, hey, but if you did want to get off the resort, check this out. And I'd say probably 50% of them take it up.
Okay. So those people who, especially I'm interested in those people who come to you with maybe that not in mind, and you recommend one of these kind of immersive experiences, what's their response when they get back? And how do they talk to you about those kinds of experiences?
Usually they are like, that was amazing. I can't believe we didn't know about that. Or like I just had an old coworker of mine, they were going on their honeymoon and they went to Belize. And so I used DMC in Belize, memorable Belize, and they have some really great options to do like chocolate learn how to make chocolate, and you're kind of just like a small group just learning from the people who are making the chocolate, and they're like grinding the cacao beans, and they were like, this was amazing. Like they didn't know it. So most of the time people are really excited about it. I don't think I've ever had anyone that was negative. Either they just don't say anything.
Oh, that was terrible. That's so cool. I have to think that when they have that experience, that they come back to you thinking, well, Kara is special. Like she has connections. She gave me something completely unique, and I would think they're like long-term customers at that point. Is that the case?
Most of the people that are going places that that are unique places have come back. Like I have
Yeah.
quite a few customers that are like, oh yeah, okay, we went to the Galapagos last year. Now we're going to Belize, and now we want to go somewhere else. Like, can you help us? Like, sure, yeah, of course. Most of my customers, I'd say, come back. Whether it's next year or not, that's a different question because a lot of these
Yeah.
trips are sometimes bigger dollar amount trips than
Right.
like sitting on a beach. Not
Right.
just actually sitting on the beach can be really expensive. I'm finding it out on my own trip. Like, I can do this much. Well, I can. It's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
So you talked a little bit about destinations. You mentioned some Central and South America destinations. What kind of destinations does your agency specialize in, if at all?
I have specialties in South America and things where I've done the training or I've been
Uh-huh.
there. And I have more maybe with some of the DMCs, but I don't exclude anywhere. Like I've sent people to Australia. I have people going to Thailand. It's like all over the world. I don't exclude any destinations aside from Disney World. I have no desire to do Disney World at all. I feel if you're gonna go to Disney World, like as a consumer, you've got this like pie in the sky, pink rose glasses, whatever, like this magical experience. And I have no idea how to present that or make that for you because I've been to Disney World a grand total of one time as an adult. And so it doesn't seem like it's in either of our best interests. So I don't do Disney World. But otherwise, any destination I will do. And, I tell them I'm up front if they ask me and they say, have you ever sent anyone or been here? If the answer is no, I say no, but I have a vast network of colleagues that I can ask. I have plenty of places to get trained. I can go through the tourism board and find like local DMCs. It's not a hard thing. That's why you're paying me to do it though, so that you don't have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as all of the Disney specialists out there, as they'll say, that is a different product and one that definitely aligns to specialization. So your honesty, I'm sure, is appreciated.
I send all like my clients come to me and they're like, I want to go to Disney World, and I'm like, I have a perfect travel agent for you. Here's their name. It's not mine.
So you said you've been in travel for 6 years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into travel? What brought you to travel?
Well, I always wanted to be a travel agent since I was like close to an adult, but I, like many people out there, thought they were a dying breed, and so I just didn't pursue it and whatever. But my love of travel was way back from when I was a kid. Mom took me to England twice. I was lucky. And the first time, she's a single parent, and it was me, my mom, and my grandma, and I was just bored to tears because she just wanted to see all of the castles and the royalty, and I couldn't care less. But the second time, she learned her lesson, and she put me into an English day camp, and like so she would drop me off in the morning and then go wherever she was going to go, and then come back, 4 or 5 p.m., pick me up. I had the best time. I learned how to play cricket. I ate like these candies that they had that were different than the ones that we had. I, played with friends that I made. It was great, and you got to see everything. But that was like an immersive experience, That was me engaging with the locals. And so even from back then, it's been something that's been like, well, I don't want to just go and take a tour. I want to talk to people who live here and see what it's like. And so I've always tried to do that. And after college, I found hostagencyreviews.com and figured out, travel agents are just working from home. Got it. And then found Travel Quest, and here I am.
That's awesome. And before our session here, you shared some news with me that's pretty exciting. What was that? Well,
as of today, actually, I am a full-time travel agent. I no longer work for corporate America, although I liked my corporate job fine. It's just this is better. And so that's today, full-time, full steam, everything on the line.
Woo! That is fantastic. I am so happy for you and proud of you that you've been working at this for a while now. And I think that's so awesome that you've been able to make that big leap. And today's the day. I had no idea when we scheduled our time for today. I had no idea that was happening today. So I feel special that you're sharing that here, kind of like live. That's awesome.
I
That,
do like TravelQuest, and that it helped me because, in the 6 years that I've been a travel agent, I had a kid already who was a baby. She was like 1.5 when I started the business, and then I had
uh-huh.
another kid in that time frame. And so, up until probably 2 years ago, I wasn't full steam ahead by any. I was like chugging real slow back here. I was
Yeah.
not even putting my foot to the pedal. I was just going what your car goes when you don't put anything on and you're not braking. And
Right.
that was on purpose, like
Yeah.
Josh always says, it takes a while for your SEO to kind of get going, and
Mhm.
so just having a
Mhm.
website, having social media presence, that's what I was focused on then. Is like making sure I had a website, making sure I understood what I needed to be doing as a travel agent, and I wasn't so focused on getting more clients, like that fast. And then,
Mhm.
my kids got a little older. I've got a 4-year-old is now 4.5, and
Uh-huh.
um, so it got more and more time available to devote to this. And so I would say in the last year and a half has really been okay. I'm really pushing for this today goal of being a
Uh-huh.
full-time travel agent. But at the beginning, I wasn't, and I think it's great because TravelQuest, there's so many members, there's so many people that are on different paths that it didn't make
Yeah.
me feel like I was, like less than, I guess. I
Of
was on
course. Right.
my own path, and other people are on the fast path, and that's great. But
Right.
I don't know. I just want to say that for anybody who's out there that maybe is in the same situation as me or similar, where you're not really heading like full steam ahead, it's okay. Like you have your goals, and just make sure you're hitting your own goals.
That's it's well said, and I think it is an important message because everybody's in a different season of life, right? There's always something going on, and some people are in a time of life where you have more time and can dedicate it to it, and others are not, and as you said, that's okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool that you pointed that out because it's absolutely the case, and I'm just so happy for you. Congratulations. I know you
Thanks.
worked really hard,
Thank you.
and good things are in store. So let me ask you. Yeah, you talked a little bit about immersive experiences. What's that destination that's on your bucket list, or that experience that's on your bucket list? Where are you looking to go if you could
I
go
would,
anywhere?
well, I have a lot. I mean, I'm sure everyone has a lot, but my probably top two right
Uh-huh.
now. I would really love to go to Turkey and to like experience more than just Istanbul, like outside and both continents. That seems really cool to me.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, it does.
and then I also would love to do a safari in Africa, and I'm going to apply for a FAM. I have applied, I guess, for September. I'm a little worried because it's like 10 days, and that's pushing the limit for my youngest anyway to be away from
Yeah,
me. But
yeah,
I think it would be worth it because that would open the door for clients to see that I've been to Africa, and then have all of
yeah.
those awesome opportunities for them as well.
Well, I hope you can do that because a Safari product is one of those things that, gosh, talk about a story per minute, because that whole region of the world and the product is so unique, and
Yeah.
it's so memorable, and I think anybody who can experience that, and if you have a desire, especially to sell that product, it will be
Yeah.
so valuable to you. So I hope that works out, and I would encourage you to do it if you can.
Yeah.
Um,
Fingers are crossed. I'm waiting for the
yeah.
tourism board.
So tell us, just to wrap up here, what you gave a piece of advice to people who might be, in that stage where they're slowly developing their business. Is there any other advice you'd give to those people who are either new to the industry, or to those people who, are still on that journey as they're working to, slowly build their business, from a part-time, maybe even started as a hobby, and now it's becoming a real business for them? Is there any advice that you would share from your journey?
I would say some of the best changes that I've made in just the last couple of years is going to conferences that are outside of Travel Leaders like umbrella. So even if they're virtual, I've been to a lot of virtual ones, but like destination conferences and things, because you'll meet people who are not hosted agents, and you get to talking to them and networking with them, and it's an interesting difference, and to be able to see both sides of the fence and kind of understand, okay, well, how do they do things? How do I do things? Are there best practices that they can show me that they're able to do that, I can incorporate, and kind of getting perspective. And then a lot of times for those, it's very seasoned agents going because they're going to get certain knowledge or to get certain, connections with suppliers. And so they can have 20 years under their belt or 30 years sometimes to be able to give you more advice on, trends to stay away from or to do or whatever. So I've been happy with like the networking that I've done, that even outside of Travel Quest is great. That's my favorite thing, is networking with people within Travel Quest. But then outside of it too is, getting more perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's in here.
Absolutely. It's funny. The longer that you're in the industry, the bigger you realize it is, and the more you realize it's impossible to know everything, and it's impossible to specialize in everything. And I think that's good. It's good advice. The more exposure you can give yourself to different aspects of the industry, different people in the industry, it does nothing but help you in the end. So I think that's great advice. That's great advice. Anything else you want to share before we send it back over to the Weekly Chatter?
No. I love you guys.
We love you, Kara. Where can people check out your website or any social media you want to promote?
Yeah, so my website is www.experienceculturetravel.com, and on Instagram and on Facebook, it's Experience Culture is the last bit. Facebook.com/Experience Culture, whatever they call it, handle or something. I don't know what it's called.
Whatever.
Joshua can correct me. I'm sure he's in right now, ready to correct me.
Well, Kara, I loved having you on the Weekly Chatter conversation. I thank you for joining me, and I hope we get to talk to you again soon. And have a great success as a full-time travel advisor, agency owner. I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited for you. Congrats.
Thank you so much, Jason.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
All right, let's send it back over to the Weekly Chatter.
Oh, Kara. Mum's the word.
Isn't she fun though?
She's so much fun. And do you remember when I was in Universal? She and I got to do the Weekly Chatter together.
That's right.
And
yes,
I've been in television for a little while, and you have a strict schedule, and people don't just like show up at the last minute for a live.
They don't?
Yeah, a live stream. But Kara did. She was waiting for a delivery, like food delivery, and that kind of made me a little nervous. And just the reason why I bring this up is because he does it to me all the time. So I'm like, hey, we're starting. Anyway, that was a fantastic conversation. I love Kara, and I'm so happy for
Isn't that
her.
cool?
I saw her social media post where she said, "This is my last day. It's bittersweet, but I'm following my dreams."
That's so awesome, isn't it?
It is so awesome. And just so you know, Bill and Denise, who are joining us on the YouTube channel, yes, we can see the chat over there, but the members Facebook group, I monitor the comments from my phone. It's just a weird tech thing. But I see you there, and I'm glad that you're tuned in and watching us on YouTube. And sorry that the audio was a little choppy on Kara's end, but I think you got the message. She's pretty cool, and and she doesn't do Disney.
That's right. And I meant to ask her, but I'm just picturing when she said at the top that she only sells stuff that she likes. I'm picturing, someone says they want to go something, and she's like, "No, I don't like that. I'm not booking that."
Yeah.
I'd love to know.
I do not get out of bed for that. No, that's not what I'm doing.
But I love that she sells what she is passionate about, and we talk about this all the time. All the time, there is no substitute for personal passion, connection. It's a big part of our niche selection process is your personal connection. And for every successful advisor, every successful agency owner, that personal connection, that passion it's really one of those key success drivers, and it has to be there.
Sure.
Here's another case in point.
Yeah, it comes through when you're speaking. If you're passionate about
Absolutely.
something, it comes through, and that really is the difference in someone who is successful and someone who is struggling.
Yeah.
Is that ability. Now, we've got Velma in the green room.
All right.
So we're gonna Velma. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Well, it's good to see you.
Well, it's good to see both of you. I don't have a fancy hat. Sorry, I put some flowers out, with a little silver ball for New Year's. So
I love
it's
it.
it's kind of hard to believe we're at the end of the year, but you know what? The members, they're still going strong. They're not letting things slide here at the end. We had some really good sales with great revenue, and Jason always wants me to remind people these numbers are revenue. This is not sales. So in the number 3 spot,
Mission dollars in the bank, right? Right,
that's
Velma?
right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. Number 3 spot, $13,461.
Ooh.
And one of the things the members are telling me that they really enjoy about hearing these numbers is when I tell them, how did that happen? What makes up these numbers? So in this particular member, they only sold 3 products to earn that: Delta Vacations, FunJet, and Sandals. And it really wasn't that many sales, but some high dollar bookings made up the figure.
Nice.
Yeah. And then in number 2,
Can I-
18,756.
Sorry, go ahead.
What'd you say?
Go ahead.
The number 2 spot revenue was 18,756. This was Carnival, NCL, and Royal Caribbean. Just 3 suppliers, and they had a very good revenue week. Then drum roll, please, for number 1. 26,328.
Whew.
And this member's revenue week was, once again, only 3 suppliers: Royal Caribbean, NCL, and Viking River. However, 2/3 of that total figure was Royal Caribbean. So I have a feeling that was maybe a group, but great revenue for just, not that many bookings to make that up. And I like it when they work smarter and not harder and bring that money in. And so speaking of bringing money in, I wanted to point out something. I've been blocking space with the cruise lines, and I've got space blocked through 2023. But I have started this past week, I've been working on researching interesting Alaska cruise tours.
Mhm.
And I have started blocking space with Princess for 2024.
Nice.
So you might be wondering, why is she doing that? We haven't even got to 2023. What is she up to? Has she lost it? What's going on? Okay, this is what's going on. This is what happens with Alaska. You have customers that go on Alaska 2023, and they have a fabulous time. Everyone has a fabulous time in Alaska. That's just the way it is. They come back. You call them, the next week after they're home and say, how was it? They are so excited. This is the time you say, you know what? You loved it. I've got some space. I've got blocked. We could, book you and some of your relatives, and you can take friends for 2024, and you have a whole year to pay on it. It's like Alaska on layaway, right? Yeah. Okay, Joshua. Layaway's big in the South.
That's right.
So that's why, It's I noticed in the chat that one of the members was talking about she's so excited because she's got bookings through 23, 24, and it's a good feeling to have those sales just there in the file drawer, and all you have to do is collect the money when it comes due. So that's why it's important when you've got customers that went on a trip that you handled and they had a fabulous time, hit it hard. Get them to go again, get something else booked. And Alaska has a high revenue. So that's why I'm doing this.
So
And
the cruise tour products in 24 that you blocked, just
mhm.
tell us a little about those for those people who don't know what a cruise tour is.
Oh, okay. Well, these are 7-night sailings, and up to now, everything I have blocked so far goes to on the land portion first. So they're flying into either Anchorage or Fairbanks,
Mhm.
and they're going to do a 3 or 4-night land tour. All of the ones I've booked are going to go to Denali National Park for at least one night.
Fun.
Cool.
I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit, and people tend to like to do the land first and then relax on the cruise second.
Right.
Now, there's another way of thinking. A lot of people say, well, you know what? I should cruise first and I eat all that food and then I'm more active at the end and maybe I'll lose some weight. So there's two ways to look at this. But anyway, I'm starting out land first, then the cruise.
Uh-huh.
And so far, every sailing I've included includes Glacier Bay. Have y'all been to Glacier Bay National Park?
I've never been to Alaska.
I went a long time ago, and I'm due to go again because
Okay, yes, you are. Yes,
yeah,
you are. And Joshua, we've got to get you up to Alaska. That's kind of a must. So the reason I'm including Glacier Bay National Park is that a lot of people, that's their bucket list. They want to go to every national park, and the only way to go to that one is on a cruise. And Princess has this great program where they bring the park ranger on board the ship that day, and he points out everything all around in that Glacier Bay Park in that area, and he'll stamp your national parks passport. You know, a lot of people, that's a deal for them. They want to have those stamps
right.
and have a full parks passport. So far, that's what I've been blocking space on. And early next year, I'm going to do some training, and we're going to talk about cruise tours and how to add flights to those, and at what points you add the flights, and how
Right.
to do pre and post. So anyway, but to get the most out of my training, I'm really asking the members to go to one source, sign in, go to marketing and brochures, and order at least one file copy of the Alaska 2023 because it's the cruise tours. There's so many choices. It's really helpful to be looking at the brochure when we're discussing these itineraries. So,
Good tip.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
So,
training will be coming out early 23.
do what?
The
What
trainings
was that?
will be coming out in early
Yes,
2023.
yes. I want to try to do that really soon because it's time. You know,
Yep.
Alaska is selling right now.
Yes, it
And
is.
then the last thing I want to talk about is if you have a group that you have already blocked and it's not selling as very well, and you want to open it up for the other members, contact me and I'll help you get that open and make it an open public group so you can get some more of that space sold.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome.
Well, Velma, people are giving you lots of cheers in the comments. So thank you, as always, for not only bringing us numbers, but bringing the analysis as well. And now the cruise tours. This is exciting.
Yes.
Love it.
So
Yes. All right.
you're kicking 2023 off with a bang.
Yes, I'm trying. I wanted to kick it off with money in the bank.
There you go.
I like it. Make that paper. All right, we will see you in 2023.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year, Velma.
Happy New Year. Bye.
I love her,
Me
and
too.
so does everybody in the chat. And there was a question again. Sometimes we forget. when Velma is reading off those top 3 positions, those are the invoiced sales for it's the revenue, the anticipated revenue for that past week. So it hasn't traveled yet.
It's the commission they booked during the week.
Yes. Yeah. So just to make sure that everyone understands that. All right. All right. Lots of people commenting.
Yeah, sure.
That's a thing. But why don't we move over to headlines?
All right.
Yeah. He's got cards. I love doing this live with him.
Helps if they're not upside down.
So that's good.
It was a bit of a slow news week, which is to be expected, right? Tucked between Christmas and New Year's, that there's not a lot of news stories other than, of course, all of the flight cancellations and some of those things that have been in the news. But the only kind of news that comes out this week is the news that people don't want you to hear. So this is the week that, for those who haven't heard, American Airlines decided that they were going to, at the end of the year, they're going to end their domestic commission program. So this doesn't impact our great commission program on the transcontinental and some of those international routes, but they are ending their domestic commission program, which is unfortunate. We're still working to negotiate on that, but right now that is their stance. So that's a bit of news that we can they put it out there hoping to bury it, but we want to let you know. Europe is big in the news, right? It's big in what we're selling as a network. It's big in what a lot of customers are looking for. And Europe continues to put in new regulations for just about everything. I mean, everything from mandating what what kind of power cord Apple is going to sell. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So they're going to that USB-C anyway. So they're putting a new tax essentially on anyone landing in Europe. So starting, I think it's in November or so, you're gonna have everyone who lands into Europe is going to have to pay a €7 tax. So it's not a lot, but it adds to the cost of visiting Europe. And they figured they have some of the top demand destinations. Why not collect a few euros? But they're also going to start requiring fingerprints for every entrant. And some say that could, in some, depending on the airport you land into Europe, it can be a bit of a wait to go through immigration. And some are saying that could make that wait time, double.
Oh God.
So that's not a real exciting. See, it's all the news nobody wants this week.
Yeah, I for the first time ever last year or this year, I changed planes, or I had a layover. Sorry, in Charles de Gaulle, and every single travel professional I know afterwards said,
they clutched themselves.
They were like, "What? Why would you ever do that?" I felt like I was at a farmer's market when all the fresh produce came in. It was a mess. So if you're going to tell me that I'm going to do fingerprints, I will choose my airport wisely.
So more info coming on that, but that's interesting. Now, we're about ready to go into the new year, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people want to know, what is the market going to be like next year? Is 23 going to be a big travel year or not?
I'm doing your crystal ball.
Yeah. So a lot of people think, and I tend to agree with them, that 2023, we've said 2019 was a banner year, 2022 banner year, 2023 is shaping up to be even bigger than 22. Okay. So if your business is still in that, you're finding your footing, you're getting your feet, right? You're getting your marketing going, you're getting your education going, and you didn't strike with the irons hot in 22. Not to fret, because I think 23 is going to be every bit as good and maybe even better. So a couple of interesting points that I saw this week. 25% of adults expect to travel in the next 6 months. Compared to the same time last year it was only 19%.
Okay.
So we're seeing that's a pretty big jump from 19 up to 25. Mm-hmm. 62% of flight searches right now are for international destinations.
Okay.
This time last year, only 55%. And so one of the things, why is 23 going to be bigger than 22? Number one, we're seeing a heck of a lot more cruise departures,
Yes.
right? So
Right.
for earlier parts of 22, we still saw a lot of ships not in the water.
Right.
Prices are not falling, right? And demand is still there. So we're not going to see huge discounting. We're going to see those average transaction prices stay fairly high. Airfare is not going down. Airfare continues to go up. Right now, prices are about 52% higher for 2023 than comparable times in 22
Yeah.
for domestic, and 29% for international.
Gotta get adjusted to that.
Or yeah,
It's
it's
a little tough buying it.
but consumers are still spending money on travel.
Yeah.
Right? There is this it wasn't a pent up, we talked about pent up demand a lot after the pandemic, right? And some were concerned that, okay, once that pent up demand is released, then it's kind of, we're back to basics, right? We're back to normal. But it seems for a large portion of consumers that their mentality, the things they value has shifted a little bit. And they are valuing travel, they are valuing these experiences, and they're willing to pay for it. So that is interesting. And we're also seeing in 23 Asia opening. We're seeing Australia, New Zealand, places that were difficult to get to, if not impossible for some of them, in 22, now available. So we're seeing, big surges in demand for Australia, New Zealand, places like Tokyo and Bangkok and Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. So a lot of those kinds of places are kind of those trending destinations where, we're still going to see strong, numbers going to Italy and France and UK and Ireland. But some of those Asian, Australia, New Zealand destinations really starting to kind of top the list. So that, don't be surprised if you're hearing that from your clients. And just like Kara said, immersive experiences continuing to be very, very popular, right? A lot of operators and a lot of advisors are pushing kind of this hub and spoke idea where you visit a single destination for a longer period of time, and you might take day trips into other areas. Kind of something very typical you might do that with historically would be like you'd go into Florence, and that would be your base of operations in Tuscany for the week. And you might spend a day here and a day here and a day there, and let's go to Siena for a day, let's go to Pisa for a day, and kind of come back and sleep in your hotel in Florence, right? But now taking that idea into other markets, so a lot less of the, we're going to go on a 10-day journey and stay in 10 different cities. People are like, let's connect, let's see what this one city is all about. So that, I think, is a continuing trend we're going to see in 23. And this might not make some of our suppliers happy. I hesitate whether I even want to mention this, but we got to keep it real, right?
Yeah, you got to keep it real.
I think this is kind of the bold prediction. We'll see if it comes true. 2023 might be the year that we look back and say that was the year the traditional motor coach tour product died. That it might be when we look back. It doesn't mean it's going away this year. It doesn't mean it's going away next year or the year after that. But the idea of I'm going to get on the bus with 40 other people, and we're going to sit shoulder to shoulder, and we're going to go to 15 different cities. I think that product its best days are behind us.
Okay.
And so I think that's something we're going to continue to see less popular. And you're even seeing some of our great partners who do operate a lot of motor coach tours trying to reinvent themselves, offering some new products.
Yeah.
So
adjusting, pivoting a little bit.
So I got one more if I have time.
Yep. Quickly.
Am I boring you?
No, I just I know it's Friday and people want to get on with it.
Okay. Well, this one's kind of fun. So Carnival, right? They have Shaquille O'Neal, their chief fun officer, I think they call him. So they said this week that they've hired Emeril Lagasse as their chief culinary officer.
Oh, neat.
So I was thinking, and they have Guy Fieri, right? Who does
Yes,
some of
that's
their on ship restaurants. But I was just thinking, like, who's next? Like, what other celebrity is Carnival going to hire? Like, is it going to be like Jimmy Buffett's going to be the chief margarita officer? Like, I don't know. It just seems like we have a collection of celebrities happening now. I don't know. But who do you think they should hire? Like, it seems like there's a bunch of just TV personalities they could bring in, and we're gonna prop them up.
It's gonna be RuPaul. I predict it's gonna be RuPaul. Carnival's next
What's RuPaul's title?
chief
It's a chief fashion officer,
chief charisma officer.
chief charisma officer.
Yeah.
Well, those are the headlines for the week, Joshua. That's all I got.
I love it. Well, we are now at the end of the show. And guys, thank you so much for joining us and chatting. And so nice to see you guys in YouTube chatting. And I'm glad I can see it now. I mean, the show is expanding. The show is expanding in 2023. And we are bringing the sparkles.
Always.
And just wishing you the best this weekend. Celebrate with your friends, family, your fur babies. Just really celebrate. Take that victory lap. We've been talking about that a lot. Take that victory lap.
That's right.
And get ready for a fantastic 2023.
You betcha.
And we want to see you back here next week, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you can join us live, that's when it's best. You never know when there's surprises. And if you're watching this on demand, that's great too. But try to make it live, and we will see you soon. All right? Take care.
Happy New Year.